I'm posting this because I was told I'd end up on Reddit, and my kids told me this is likely what the person meant. So I live in an area that's seeing a lot of new builds. My husband and I have the last large lot on our street, lived here for 20 plus years. Probably 800 people lived here when we bought our house, now it's 10,000 plus. It's about 1.5 acres. We installed a big play area a few years ago for nieces, nephews, eventual grandkids. It's on the opposite side of our lot, pretty far from the house. There's a path that goes from our second driveway. It's landscaped and we purchased it from a contractor who was replacing some other park, so I can see how people mistake it as a town park. This happens often that people stop to play, and I usually don't care. But we don't encourage it, as we have two giant dogs who will bark at strangers who come in the yard. I put up some blatant signs that say private property and beware of dog. Right now it's still cold here, it's an early Friday morning, and I open the door to let the dogs out. They stay in the yard and ignore anything outside the yard. The dogs start barking, I hear yelling. I run outside. There's a couple and their kid playing on the playground. I call the dogs back and put them in the house. I go over to apologize and let them know it's not a public park. As soon as I get within earshot, the mom starts yelling, "What the fuck is wrong with you? We're calling animal control on your ass. Who lets their dogs just run around a fucking park? Get a fence." I hate confrontation, so I get a little shaky. I tell her, it's not a park, it's my yard. She says, "Get the fuck out of here. Get away from us." I point to the signs and tell her that it's not a park, it's our yard and they need to leave. She starts going on about how it's illegal to leave a play area open. It isn't, and it's illegal to let your dogs off leash in this neighborhood. It isn't, there are almost no bylaws here yet. I tell them again to just leave and they weren't allowed to be on the property. My dogs are in the big window barking, and her husband is screaming that I should train my fucking dogs before they kill someone. They're bred to guard and detain intruders. Historically, we don't train them as guard dogs. This pissed me off more than anything because I'm an irrational animal lover. I called the police. When they saw I was on the phone with the cops, they started shouting about me being a Karen and started getting in their car. Their poor kid was crying, and the woman said, "Watch what happens when you end up on Reddit and we tell people where you fucking live." So, here you go Reddit. My kids checked and didn't find anything about it here, so I'll post it first, and I hope she does post something. I'm sorry my dogs scared them, but the screaming and threatening was so over the top and honestly deranged. My kids want me to end this by asking if I'm the asshole because I'm old and I want people to get off my lawn? Everyone is saying install a fence, but that would cost $15,000 plus. I've just contacted a company about getting a gate for our second driveway. Also, where we live, you can't sue someone if you're trespassing on private property. Suing people isn't something people can easily do here, and usually it's not for any big settlement. Before you comment about attractive nuisance law, it doesn't exist here. I don't want to say where I am, but it isn't the US or anywhere close. Next story. I, 25F, have a 18Y, cat Misty. I've had her for most of my life and she helped me overcome many things such as my parents' divorce, coming out, my mom's death and many more. She's precious to me and I know she doesn't have much time left, so I go out of my way to spoil her every single day. 2 years ago I got into a relationship with my GF Kara, 27F. Kara knew I was a massive cat fan, and although she didn't share my enthusiasm for cats, she didn't mind it. Last year I offered Kara to move in with me. I own my own apartment which I inherited from my mother. It's in a nice location in our town and is close to Kara's job. She agreed and moved in the following month. Half a year after moving in, Kara fell ill out of the blue. She brushed it off at first saying it's probably nothing, but I convinced her to go see a doctor and have some tests done. The test results came in and we were shocked to discover Kara is allergic to cats. Apparently she was probably mildly allergic to cats all her life, but since she was never exposed to them for a long period of time, it was never discovered. Her being exposed to Misty for over a year is what made her allergies much worse. I've talked with Kara about our plans in the future. I offered she could start taking anti-allergy medication, which I said I'll pay for, but she refused, saying she doesn't want to swallow a pill every day so she can keep living at home, which is valid. I then asked her when she's going to move out. Kara looked at me confused, so I explained that since her living with Misty is what causes her health issues, it'll be better for her to move out. Kara started arguing with me, claiming I'm ridiculous for suggesting she moves out over a cat. I told her I'm not going to rehome Misty under any circumstances, and offered she could move in again after Misty passes away eventually, but until then she'll have to find a different place to live in. After arguing some more, Kara left to sleep at her sister's place, and I've been getting calls from mutual friends who caught wind of the situation. Some were sympathetic while others called me heartless for preferring a dying pet over a living human. I'm very conflicted over this whole situation, and although I feel like I'm doing what's right and my request isn't unreasonable, I'm afraid I might be an asshole. Next story. My M21 brother M25 got into a car accident that left him disabled. His girlfriend was driving, and although it was ruled as an accident, my mom kept blaming her for what happened and banned her from coming near my brother after she was injured too, returned from the hospital. Mom moved my brother in and is now his main caregivers. She told everyone that his girlfriend is banned from entering the house after she attempted to contact my brother via calls and texts, and sometime would call my mom crying saying it was an accident. But mom refused to forgive her. Normally mom would stay home 24/7, but yesterday had to go out to see a friend and told me to watch my brother and not let his girlfriend in if she attempted to visit. I agreed. In just 15 minutes and his girlfriend rang the doorbell and said she saw mom leave, then started begging me to let her in to see my brother for few minutes. I refused. She said mom was being unfair and cruel to her because this was an accident and promised no one will find out I let her to see my brother since she misses him so much and haven't seen him since the accident. I said I was sorry and asked her to leave. She started crying, asking me to put myself in her shoes, but I told her to leave and stop involving me. She then said I should do this for my brother. I just left her at the door and walked back inside. She started calling my phone till I responded saying I'd report her harassment. Then she stopped and left shortly after. My brother's friend then called in the evening berating me, saying that I should have let her in to see my brother for few minutes, but I said I wasn't going to get into shit from mom because of this. He said I have no morals and that I'm a bad brother and should be ashamed of my stance on this and for missing the chance to let my brother's girlfriend, who's struggling with mental breakdown, to see him. Aita for my decision? Or are they blaming the wrong person? My brother wants to see her, but mom forbade him from that. Edit, because I can't answer every single comment, too many, but I will put this out here. Ever since the accident, my mom has basically been treating my brother like he was a grounded kid. She makes sure he can't contact his girlfriend in any way no matter what. She's angry all the time and takes it out on his girlfriend. No one disagreed with her despite knowing it was an accident and it just happened, but I disagreed because she seemed to be off the rocker, but then who am I to tell her that to her face? I don't want to get involved in this fight, and I believe that I was put between a rock and a hard place in this situation. Next story. So kinda a weird situation. About a year ago I, 26M, bought a boat. Me and my friends love to take it out on the weekends. The way I've always done it with my boys is I'll Venmo request them a portion of the gas each time we go out. Usually $100 between my 5 boys, and they all split it to help with gas. To fill my boat up it's over double that, but as host I don't mind. All my friends are happy to pitch in on gas and bring me beer, as they know I'd be taking a big loss each time we go out if they didn't chip in. I don't ever make the girls we bring with pay. If it's my friend's girlfriend or a girl I invite, we just split it the same way. So I met Gabby, 24F, on a dating app. We talked for about 2 months. In that time she came out on the boat a few times as my guest. Since then she's ingrained herself into the friend group as well. So about 2 weeks ago she told me that she liked us better as friends. I told her that I understood and we could be friends. She's been hanging around our friend group since we agreed to be friends, and everything is fine. So last weekend we took the boat out again. I invited Gabby and all my boys. I also invited a girl that I've been trying to hook up with and her friend. Had a great day. Well, after we docked and everyone got home, I sent out my usual Venmo request, but this time I split it 6 ways and included Gabby. She texted me and asked why she had to pay whenever she never had to before. I said that she didn't have to pay previously as she was my guest. But now that we are friends she needed to contribute just like all my guys' friends do. She asked if the girls I brought had to pay. I said no because they were my guest. She is saying this is unfair. I'm saying that I'm treating her just like I would any other friend. And that if she has a problem with it then she doesn't have to come on the boat anymore. All my guy friends are okay with her paying and said that I'm totally in the right. Aita, edit. Was she told to pay in advance? Not before the trip. She was aware I make all my friends pay. I asked her if she was aware of that. And she said yes, but assumed I only meant my male friends for some reason.